my channel. Welcome back to Trusted Gem of Goddess Quita, or you can call me Quita. Either one would do. I answer to both. Spirit just wants me to. I know I'm feeling this urge to explain why I'm chosen, because some people think like it's easy, and some people don't know what chosen people had to go through, and each person who's chosen, their storyline may be different from yours. So this is mine. This is coming from a spiritual sense, not from a very much from a physical sense, but more spiritual. But I can remember back when I was younger, I always had spiritual gifts. From the time I can remember when I was like 4 years old, I could always see spirits and demons. I've told you guys multiple times, but people who tend to like to come against me and my calling, Spirit will have me to reiterate the process of being chosen. And it comes from generations and generations of your ancestors have to go through certain karmatic cycles and certain things that they have to overcome in order to even give birth to a chosen one. You see my daughters on the floor. I don't know why these one walk by, but anyways, I don't know. These chosen people, we still see you, girl. But being chosen is not a joke. Being chosen is not for the weak. It's not for the faint. And even if you think you're weak and you're chosen, you're not really weak. Anything that you go through is going to strengthen you. It's not going to too much harm you. It may seem painful in the moment, but when you look back, you be like, it was just making me stronger. Okay? So, the number one thing that I can remember, this is on my dad's side. A lot of people think like a lot of gifts come from my mom's side, but it really don't. A lot of my gifts come from my dad's side of the family, and with my dad's mom being deceased. She died a couple of years ago. God bless her dad. I didn't understand them. I didn't like them. I didn't understand them. They didn't like me. And now God has given me the insight of seeing why the disconnect there. There had to be a disconnect, because if I was to be around them and I liked them and they liked me, there were certain traumas that would have been passed down that I didn't need to be exposed to. So they caused that disconnect within the family for a reason, so that the trauma that they had wouldn't be passed on to me, but the gifts, because by blood, the gifts is going to be passed on. That's why I had the mama that I had, and that's why I had the daddy that I had, because I'm a chosen one. We can't all be born in like silver spoons and that's not what we come here. We come here to be badass warriors, spiritual dominance. And that's the whole point of a chosen one. That's the whole point of an ascendant master. I am an ascendant master, mastering a new karmics, new karmic cycles, new karmic energies. I already mastered a lot of my karmic cycles, especially with eating. That's the one that I'm like currently getting through. But for the rest of the wounding and stuff, and mother and abandonment wounds, those have been mastered already. So with that being mastered, now we're moving on to a new phase within the body of the Christ consciousness. And that's via the chosen one. People who choose to answer. Many are called, but few are chosen. And the ones that are chosen are the ones that answer the call. And if you're trying to answer the call in some fucking false like being and some kind of, I'm a chosen one, I went through all this trauma, but you ain't really heal it, and you just faking it, child, we don't even worry about you like that. Because chosen ones have this spark about them. They have this thing. I like to say this thing. How my baby daddy said that that ting about them. They have that ting about them. They have that ting about them. That thing about them. They have that thing about them. So, and as you can't quite put your finger on it, you be like, you miss it every single time, and God gonna have y'all to miss it every single time, because a lot of y'all are low vibrational, just stuck on stupid, waiting to get stupider. I hate to put it like that, and I'm not talking about the Christ conscious. I'm not talking about innocent people. I'm talking about these demonic people, these people who were called but didn't get chosen because they did refuse it. We're talking about them. Yeah. So stupid, waiting to get stupider. That's what they do. They sit around to to do demonic things, to come against the Christ conscious and sit around how they can, trick us and do all these things. These are the people who are awakened spiritually, but on a lower consciousness, meaning they connect with the demons. They connect with all the traumas. Like, baby, I can connect with them, go up above them, around them, and then underneath them, and come back, and I can dance all around them. And I choose not to act out in that way. But baby, the old Quita, I didn't give no, how they saying, nothing about nobody's feelings. The old me didn't care. I would just tell you how it is, and you don't like it, baby, you better grill it up and eat it. And if you hurt it, baby, you better go see a psychiatrist. I would tell you quick. That's how I used to be. I was just cutthroat like that. I really was. And with the grace of God, I learned to be softer, because I didn't give no. And people back in my day was like, Quita don't play. And I didn't. I did not play with nobody. I never been the type to play like that, especially with your life. With my life, which, word is bond to me. When you say something mean, if you don't mean it, don't say it. And if you thought you meant it, you better reiterate, like, oh, I come back to say this and that, because that's the only grace I was given, or that I would give a person. And then certain things happened where I didn't like the person that I was, so I chose to change. I chose to reinvent myself, because I can. I didn't want to be low vibrational. I didn't like being low vibrational. It wasn't appeasing with me. It wasn't cute. It wasn't funny. It was really ignorant. You know what I mean? It was so ignorant. It was so like not giving. It really wasn't. It wasn't cute. I didn't want to. I had started having kids. I didn't want to raise my kids in the likeness of who I was at that moment. So I changed. I began to change and upgrade my DNA, upgrade myself, just off free will. Nobody didn't show me. I just wanted to change, so I did. But that being said, when I was at my grandma's house, I keep going to this instance before my grandma died. Yes, I got to meet her, and I got to spend some time with her. My grandma did not like white people. My grandma hated white people with a passion. And that wasn't cute either. So I'm so glad I didn't get that passed down, because my grandma, to believe it or not, is half white. She have a whole white sister named Katie. Yeah. So like crazy, that crazy concept within their DNA that lets you know trauma. Most people think racism has to do with being taught, but it was never taught. It comes from trauma from another race, or somebody from a particular race, and they keep doing the same thing to someone, and then they get their trauma. So it's like they connect the race with the trauma, and they be like, it's the white people, it's the white, or it's the black people, and that is a sense of trauma, and that is another tactic of the enemy. And so no, I wasn't past that down. My dad didn't get that. He knew it was crazy too, because he was like, because they called me Shy. He was like, Shy, what? Her whole sister is a whole white woman. I'm just like, Dad, why does she have like that? He was like, can't take her nowhere. So, and not to shame my grandma, but that's who she was. Just to give you an idea, we do not come from perfect backgrounds. We do not come with silver spoons in our mouth. We come in here with a vengeance to fight. And some of our ancestors have wounds and traumas that we never had, so that we wouldn't take it on. A lot of their karmatic ways and stuff is to shield a new version of themselves, which is us. And I can honestly say, I used to always say, I look like my mama. I don't look like my dad. But my mama was dark skinned, and I'm clearly not dark skinned. And my grandma is she looks white. You could tell she was Indian. She was Indian white, and you could tell that she was way lighter. She looked like a white woman, but I'm a mixture of both. I look more like my dad than my mom, to be honest. But people, it is what it is. So I have to. Spirit is making me take time to. I was healing. Well, not even healing. I had healed that part of me, and they came back to some. Stephanie, these karmas came back to mess with their wounding. But when it's healed, baby, it's sturdy. It's probably sturdier than from when I didn't have that wounding. You get what I'm saying? But it's sturdy there. So there was nothing to talk about but to tell you guys how I overcame, what I went through, and how I overcame it. And my testimony is on my Instagram, Diamond Butterfly 8488. So and the diamond is, we have diamond plating within us. The butterfly just symbolizes change. I keep changing. I keep emerging from a karmatic place or from a lower vibration than I was yesterday and the day before. And remember, I will keep remaining to change, forever change. You're not going to find me in the same place I was a year ago. You're just not. And that's just what it is. Sometimes we grow in, spirals, and sometimes we grow widthwise. We go not just spiral, we go the other way. And I had a big season of where I wasn't ascending in that way, but I was expanding. I was expanding widthwise and going to get through expansion in another way that the devil didn't see coming. And now that I'm here, I'm here. So, but when I was in my grandma's house, and she would teach me all kind of. She wasn't even teaching. She was just, how old people like to talk, and I love old people. Like, I'd rather be around old people than young people, because old people can always teach you something. They always got wisdom. If they ain't got wisdom, then they was a horrible person. If they ain't got no kind of wisdom, no nothing they can share with you, then they lived a horrible life. They was a demon. Trust me, they was a demon. Okay. And not only that, some people who are demonic will tell you, like, just like Jeffrey Dahmer, he did all this stuff to people, and then he in the end believed in God. After all of that, it took you all of that. You were so, this person was so karmatic. He didn't believe in God so much, didn't believe in love so much, that he did all this to people. Then to come to find out, I guess, to me, because I'm a logical, I'm a thinker before anything. I really think the people that he ate their beliefs start to just seep out of him unexpectedly, because he consumed those people. So I'm thinking, like, that's the way he became God, a God-fearing person, because that my mind go all over. I don't think like y'all. My mind go all over the place. So, anywho, back to the story. I was sitting down with my grandma, and I see my grandma always had a Bible on this table. Like, as soon as you walk in her house, it's a stand, it's a Bible. She had the candles, the mirror, everything right there. And the Bible was open to the 91st Psalm. And I'm sitting there, she talking to me. She's like, yeah, Shaw. I'm just like, did that, in my mind, I'm like, that Bible page just moved. And I'm like, okay, I'm tripping. And she just started talking to me, telling me about life, and like she don't like white people and stuff like that. And what this particular man had did to her, he had sexually abused her. And so that's one of the reasons why she didn't like white people. But long story short, the Bible page is moving again. I'm like, whoa, I'm getting like I'm wigged out at this point. I'm really wigged out, because like I'm just like, that Bible, like, I'm not tripping. That Bible keep moving. And I said, Grandma, like, them pages on that Bible is moving. She was like, yeah, girl. She said, that's such and such. I can't remember the name. I think God don't want me to remember the ancestor name. But she was like, yeah, he come all the time. He always in the Bible. He always searching for spiritual truths. And I'm just like, okay. I was like, and it always stuck with me. It was spooky, but it always stuck with me. And the more that I get to knowing my powers, myself in the Christ consciousness, my powers, my spiritual strength, the more I understand why we have people or spirits of beings that attach to us here. Why we have what they call them. Dang, I can't get the name of, but why our loved ones really never pass over, and some of them are not meant to pass over. And we're going through a battle, and this battle began from when the devil betrayed God. This battle had begun from there, and that's when everybody took their places, their stances, and some of their natural stances is to be a spirit on earth. And so a lot of my spiritual truth, a lot of stuff that I know come from this family member. He helps me a lot of the time. I don't know his name. I think God don't want me to remember his name, because I have a lot of spiritual demons that's after my spiritual knowledge. And it's not per se me, it's the bloodline and this particular male ancestor that I have with me, who revealed a lot of spiritual truth, because he wanted searching. When I was searching for questions, when I was younger and I had got saved in the church, I was searching for answers in the Bible. I'm like, well, I used to ask my bishop, I'm like, so why this don't make sense? If man came first, then why are babies come out of a woman's rib. It seemed like, that a man come from that we don't, come from his rib, because, he has a penis and the scrotum and stuff. We come out of that. Like that seed has to be meet the woman's seed and make a baby, and because the woman gets kicked and she pregnant, the baby is in her rib, her rib cage and stuff have to move over. So I'm like, that don't make sense to me. And then he started to say it's symbolic. And wherever God leads you, that's what he said. I can't answer that. He said, if God give me the answer to give you, then I will give to you. And I can honestly say, my bishop, he never really lied to me about none of that the biblical stuff, because I used to go to Bible study every Wednesday, every week, sometimes twice a week. My bishop used to call my grandma to ask me stuff about the Bible and what scripture. I'm like, yeah, when he looking for sermons, that's how deep I was in that Bible. And then it makes sense, because when I went to my grandma house, that particular ancestor that I met and I was so scared he followed me a long ways, especially after my grandma died. That's when a lot of my spiritual gifts started to awaken, because he used to stay around my grandma so long. He was the one that keep my grandma in check. That and he could I could literally, she would talk to him and he would answer her. Like, she would really have a conversation with him. And I used to be so wigged. I'm like, baby, I can't go back over there. I can't go back over there. And so I noticed when my grandma passed away that ancestor connects with me in a particular way as well. Although I had spiritual gifts and spiritual knowledge before then and the foresights, it was even more so because our bloodline is some type of high level of bloodline. Even though I have karmatic things that my family indulged in, and that was by design. That was by the devil's design. That was by the environmental design. Because back then, crack was a big thing, and that was by design. And a lot of stuff happened to my dad that I wasn't aware of until my spirit guides, ancestors, they were, you should do this and you should do that, because he really didn't have a choice. He really, if you put yourself in their shoes and they start showing me things about my father, and I'm like, you right. I don't know, I keep saying 1717 on each time I record, but and so I started to get more insight, even about my grandma on my they got custody of me after my mom died, and why she was so, wicked towards me. And it was because of trauma. It's because of situation and a lot of things that happened to her. If you was put in her shoes, you probably wouldn't have survived it either. So that's why I'm more grateful for my ancestors and my people who were karmatic. I used to I don't want them around me. Yes, I do. I want them around me because they went through things and they're in that consciousness. And if we interact with them while they're in that consciousness and have it transfer over already into the light, it'll help build their consciousness up before they transfer, so they can be born into more consciousness, so they can expand more. And that's what spirit is helping me to help my ancestors that were karmatic to expand more, to heal that bloodline. I know it's that saying they say when you heal yourself, you heal your bloodline, but that's not all the way true. You have to actually interact with these people, send these people knowledge, send these people healing, send these people money, send these people, and not money like physical money, or you could do physical money, but however God is leading you to feed these people, because these are the people who took a lot of pressure and a lot of trauma, because to make way for you. If they hadn't been through what they've been through and survived it, even though they were stuck in karmatic patterns, then you wouldn't have been here, baby. And so I had to be grateful on a whole new level to my ancestors. I'm trying to make it started to make me cry. I'm glad that you can't really see it. But to my ancestors, I have a new level of appreciation, even to the karmatic ones, even to the ones that wasn't so nice to me. It's not that they didn't want to be, they didn't know how to be, because they had dealt with so much trauma that and survived it. And then I was created. If they hadn't survived it, then there would be no me. You know what I'm saying? So the more we pay tribute to our ancestors, even the ones that was hell on wheels, is the more we heal the bloodlines. It's not by default. If you heal yourself, you heal your bloodline. That's not true. You have to actually interact with them. You have to actually send them money, healing energy, knowledge, acknowledge them. You have to actually, be energetic with these people. Energy is everything. Energy is everything. And so God just wanted me to share that with you guys, and that's only a piece of my story because I have a lot of I have some spiritual gifts from my mom's side of the family as well, but it's predominantly my dad's side, and that's just the way the cookie crumble. And if I continue to had a grudge against my dad, or continue to not reverence that side, the blood side of the family, then that hinders my spiritual growth, my spiritual knowledge, because I can't expand without reverencing the blood that flows through my freaking veins. It makes more sense the more that I think about it. But the little bit of trauma that they caused me is this like 20 times the trauma that they experienced in their waking world, and then they didn't know how to deal with it, and they dealt with it the best they could. And so I'm forever grateful to any one of my ancestors. I do not consider any one of my ancestors malevolent to me anymore. When I feel that energy, I send them healing. When I get ancestors that I know that I didn't like or didn't like me, I send them healing for both me and them, simply because they're going to be reborn. Yeah, they're going to be reincarnated in another lifetime, or in this lifetime, within this generation. And they're going to need your love and support, because you guys we continue to recycle each other's trauma until we heal it. And I was so glad that I didn't get tainted with a lot of sexual abuse traumas, because those are the worst traumas to get over from a family member. I am so glad that I didn't have to go through too much of that. You know what I mean? I was almost by one of my people, but it never happened, and I fought. And I fought because my mom went through that trauma, and she survived it, and she didn't become evil. My mom always protected me, and she always tell me little nuggets that help me. But boy, lay on top of you, and your stomach gonna get big, you're gonna be fat. And I didn't know until I had my first baby what my mama really meant. And she knew I was young at a tender age, but she knew what happened to her at a tender age, so she would give me little nuggets. And I didn't understand until I was grown and done had my first baby, probably 6-7 months after I had my baby child. I just know it was after I had my first child, and then I understood what she was talking about, because that's how much she protected me. That's how much she didn't let me go through what she went through. And I'm forever grateful for that. I am forever thankful for that, because my mom showed me the love that she didn't even have, and I don't know where she got it from, the strength from, but I just thank God that she was given the strength to raise me with love, even though it was her own way of giving it. I'm thankful for that. And a lot of y'all need to be thankful for your parents. Even though y'all, they gave y'all a lot of trauma, a lot of y'all need to be thankful for them. Because, if they hadn't survived a lot of the traumas and still being able here to create you, to make you, then where would you be? You wouldn't be here. A lot of people are like, I wouldn't be born into another family. What if the situations weren't right for you to be born in another family? You have to wait lifetime after lifetime after lifetime to get your turn. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I am very grateful for my ancestors and their trauma and the things that they survived and had the strength to maintain and to cover up to this point where it didn't need to be covered up no more. Peace.